Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. This video is going to be a farewell to Onyx, our used-to-be main meat rabbit breeding buck. Since he has gone sterile and is no longer useful for breeding, sadly we can't keep him. So today we will honor him, say goodbye, and butcher him. I'm not planning on showing the butchering, but I will show the finished carcass and some guts and things. So if you're squeamish about that, then maybe choose a different video to watch. If you've been watching for a while, you are very familiar with Onyx. I bought him as a 5-month-old buck about a year ago, so he's almost a year and a half old. We got him, his full sister Cattail, and some of his half-siblings, all from someone who also had a colony set up. They ended up being beginner rabbit owners and didn't really know you're supposed to separate older kits out of the colony and also separate male rabbits. So as a full-grown adult, he lived in a fairly small colony with his dad, his brothers, and all the does, and all his younger siblings. So I'd imagine he got in quite a few fights over his life there. But his rocky start in life hasn't prevented him from having a super sweet personality. He is one of the few rabbits we have who loves people. When we did have him in our colony, he would come up to us for treats and to be pet. He'd even climb in our laps sometimes, which is kind of a rare thing for rabbits. Even though I try to maintain some degree of aloofness when it comes to all my rabbits, because I will have to butcher them all one day, it was impossible for me to not get attached to this sweet boy. Despite my best efforts to give Onyx the best life we could here on our farm, I haven't always been able to keep him in what I feel is the best housing situation. We've been dealing with a lot of colony troubles and sicknesses and a lot of weird stuff, which I have chronicled in many of my past videos. So he's moved from tractors to colonies to cages to tractors again to a colony again, and most recently he's been living in this big tractor all by himself. He was with Cattail for a while, but about a week ago we moved her into our new colony, so he's been alone for a little bit. In fact, Cattail, Onyx's full sister, is the only doe he's managed to successfully breed. He's been our main breeding buck for a while, but at some point after he successfully bred Cattail, a couple months after we got them, his ability to breed disappeared. At first, when I found this out, I hesitated to cull him right away, which is part of the reason he's continued to live so long, because even though he has a smaller body structure and has failed breeding many times, I really loved his black otter coloring and wanted to pass that on to some future kits. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that my hope was impractical and that the better thing to do in the long run would be to give him a shorter and more happy life rather than making him live isolated and continuing to pay for his feed and have him take up valuable housing just to get some pretty colored kits. So as he's enjoying his very, very last handful of treats, I'm going to say goodbye, Onyx. Thank you for the 1 litter you did produce. Thank you for being such a sweet buck. I am very fond of you and very aware and grateful of the sacrifice you will make to feed my family, in addition to giving your life to our family as a breeding buck. Now you will complete the purpose you have come to Earth for by giving your life to fill our bellies. I promise to continue to make your last moments as enjoyable as possible. I promise that your moment of death will be as quick and as painless as I can make it. I promise to respectfully use every part of your sacrifice to continue providing life to other creatures, whether it be us humans or other animals like the dogs or chickens. Thank you again, and goodbye. If any of you are curious about the butchering process, even though I haven't made any videos about it personally, I would recommend you check out the Living Traditions Homestead YouTube channel and their butchering video. Watching their butchering videos is how I originally learned what to do many years ago when I was butchering our first batch of rabbits. So I would encourage you to learn from them as well. The one change I do make to their system is I prefer the broomstick method of dispatch rather than the more hopper-popper-like method that they use in the video. For this butchering, I decided to turn the hide into a dog treat. I cut it into thirds and then braided it all together, and I'm going to let it sit for a couple days to dry out into a kind of rawhide dog treat. This would work better if it was warmer outside, but it's supposed to be in like the 50s and 60s for the next couple days, so it should eventually dry out. I consciously chose not to preserve or tan the hide because honestly, I don't know what I would do with it. I have several hides I have tanned and preserved from previous rabbits just sitting in the house waiting for me to do something with them, but I can't think of any project that I would actually use. I don't need hide mittens, I wouldn't like a hide blanket, I wouldn't like a hide hat. I know there are plenty of options out there, I just don't think I would actually use anything I would make out of the hides. So to use every part of the rabbit, instead of going through all the work of tanning another hide and then just letting it sit for a year or two, I am going to make our farm dogs very happy in a couple days once this dries out. Fang! Oh, for Fang, good boy. Fang! Do you want a foot? It'll be fun to chew for a while. No me foot? Good boy. There you go for later. Good dogs.